Why is she thinking about him all day long? Why is he the one she dreams about at night? Even though he didn't even send a good morning text. It's not magic, it's not luck, and it's not some sneaky trick. It's something way deeper. It's real masculine power. And most men don't even know they're giving it away every single day, just by reaching for their phones too fast. Let me explain. Okay. Picture this. A guy likes a girl. A lot. He thinks about her every morning, every night. He waits for her replies. He wants to feel close to her. So what does he do? He texts first, again, and again, and again. Hey, good morning. What are you up to? Miss you. He keeps texting, hoping, waiting, trying. And at first, maybe she answers. Maybe she's nice. But slowly, something starts to change. She pulls away. Her texts get shorter. One-word replies. Delayed messages. Her spark, it fades. And the guy is left feeling confused, hurt, even angry. He thinks, but I was nice. I showed I cared. I gave her attention. Why did she stop caring? Now, here's the hard truth, my brother. The more you chase, the more you erase your power. Not because being nice is bad, not because love is wrong, but because real attraction isn't built on chasing. It's built on mystery, on energy, on presence. Let me tell you a secret no one teaches young men. The man who doesn't text first lives first. He's not staring at his phone, hoping for a ping. He's not trying to prove he's good enough. He's not waiting to be chosen. He already chose himself. He wakes up and chases his purpose, not her attention. And guess what happens? She notices. Her mind starts spinning. Why hasn't he texted? Is he busy? Who's he with? What is he doing? And why do I miss him? And boom. Just like that. You're living rent-free in her mind. Not because you tricked her, not because you're ignoring her to be mean, but because you created space. Space makes people curious. Space lets emotions grow. Space gives your presence more value. Think about it like this. If someone hands you chocolate every 5 seconds, you don't even want it anymore. But if you haven't tasted it in a while, that next bite, oh man, it's magic. You become the chocolate, rare, sweet, desired. So when you don't text first, it's not silence, it's strength. It's saying, I'm building my life, and you're welcome to join, but I'm not stopping for you. And women? They don't want to be your whole life. They want to be part of a man's life that already feels whole. That is Stoic wisdom. What if I told you? The more available you are, the less she feels the need to chase you. What if your constant presence is actually the reason she's losing interest? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true, because the man who's always there becomes the man who's taken for granted. Let's break this down like we're talking face to face. See, most guys are taught the same thing over and over. If you like her, show it. If you care, never stop proving it. So they show up. They try hard. They give her everything. And what do they get back? Less and less. They become ordinary, predictable, always there. And here's the strange thing. That makes her feel less, not more. Less excited, less curious, less attracted. You know why? Because humans don't crave what's easy to get. We crave what's just a little bit out of reach. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't about playing games. This isn't about being cold or rude. It's about understanding energy. When you're always texting first, always checking in, always giving, you shift the balance. You become the one chasing. You become the one proving. And that tells her, he needs me more than I need him. Now pause right there. Think about that. Because once that happens, the attraction starts to die. Not because she's mean, not because she's broken, but because nature wired her to feel desire. When a man feels whole on his own, when you're living your life, when you're focused on your path, when you're not trying to convince her to stay, that's when she feels drawn to you. It's not the words you say. It's the way you carry yourself. It's the calmness in your silence, the strength in your stillness, the way you make her wonder instead of remind her. Remember this. A man who doesn't text first isn't being lazy. He's being focused on his work, on his health, on his mission. And that's what makes him different. That's what makes him unforgettable. Because women don't chase texts, they chase feeling. And the strongest feeling is the one she has to figure out on her own. Want to know what drives women wild without you saying a word? Want to know the secret power you have just by being a little hard to read? It's called mystery. And guess what? It's more powerful than charm, more attractive than looks, more addictive than any text you could ever send. Here's the truth most men never hear. When she knows everything about you, she starts to feel nothing. Why? Because there's no spark, no curiosity, no reason to lean in. Now, I get it. You want to connect. You want to share your thoughts, your day, your plans. You want her to feel close to you. But here's the twist. Closeness doesn't come from constant talking. It comes from leaving a little bit of yourself unspoken. Think of it like a movie trailer. It gives you just enough to be excited, but not the whole story. And because of that, you want to see the full movie. That's how attraction works. When you give her every answer, every detail, every thought before she even asks, there's no space for her mind to wander. No space to wonder. No room to miss you. Now don't confuse this with being secretive. You're not hiding. You're just not handing out every piece of your soul like a free sample. The most powerful men? They speak less, and their silence makes people lean in, not out of fear, but out of respect and curiosity, because they're living something bigger, something stronger, something she wants to be a part of, but can't fully reach. And that can't quite reach feeling, that's the hook in her brain. That's what makes her check her phone. That's what keeps her thinking about you late at night. Not because you're playing games, but because you're living in your purpose. And purpose doesn't explain itself. It moves forward and lets others catch up if they want to. Let this truth hit deep. The man who talks less is remembered more. Not because he's cold, but because his energy is contained, not scattered. He doesn't need to prove anything with words. His presence speaks for itself. Her brain is wired to chase what pulls away. What if I told you there's a hidden switch in her brain, a switch that makes her obsess over you, but only flips when you stop trying. Sounds crazy, right? But science backs it, and ancient psychology explains it. So let's break it down. You see, deep inside every woman's mind, there's a system built to chase value. Not words, not gifts, not nice texts, but value. And guess what? When you text first all the time, when you always check in, when you're always there right when she wants, that system doesn't light up. Why? Because her brain says, he's always here. I don't have to earn him. I don't have to wonder. He's already mine. And just like that, the thrill is gone. The spark faded. The mystery killed. The chase over. But when you create space, when you let her wonder where you are, what you're doing, who you're becoming, something ancient inside her wakes up. That switch flips. And now she's thinking about you more, wanting to text you first, checking your profile, telling her friends, why hasn't he reached out yet? She doesn't even know why it's happening. But you do, because you're not chasing her. You're chasing your purpose, and that is magnetic. Now, let's be clear. This isn't about ignoring her. It's not about playing games. It's about letting her feel your absence, so she can feel the truth, that you're not waiting on her. You're building something real with your life. You're not glued to your phone. You're glued to your mission. That's the difference between a boy seeking attention and a man commanding respect. You want her to feel drawn to you. Give her space to feel your energy without forcing it. You want to be the one she thinks about? Don't rush in. Let her lean in. Let her feel the fire grow from the distance. Because that's what creates obsession. Not chasing, but being deeply rooted in your own world. Let's break down how not texting first is a sign of true emotional control, and how women are secretly drawn to the man who doesn't react, but chooses when to respond. It's time to learn the power of stillness. The man who doesn't react wins everything. Let's play a little game. Imagine this. She posts a photo. You see it. You feel something deep inside. Jealousy, curiosity, confusion. But instead of rushing to react, you do nothing. That silence, it's not weakness. It's power. Because in that moment, you just did something most men never learn. You stayed calm when most guys fall apart. Here's a secret most people won't tell you. She's not watching what you say. She's watching how you feel, especially when she does something risky, when she tests you, when she tries to poke your emotions, and when you don't react. She feels it. She feels that control, that stillness, that calm, and her mind starts to spin. Why didn't he say anything? Why didn't he reply? Why didn't he react like other guys? She's used to men losing control. She's used to them freaking out, chasing, typing long paragraphs, begging to explain. But you stayed centered. You didn't move. That's stoic power. That's what keeps you in her head, even louder than a message ever could. Because silence, when used with confidence, is a roar she hears in her mind all day. Let me tell you something powerful. When you own your emotions, When you stop reacting like a boy and start responding like a man. Women notice. They feel that difference. They don't know how to explain it. But something about you just feels solid. Like a rock, like peace. And that peace, it's rare, and what's rare becomes irresistible. So next time you want to react fast, take a deep breath. Pause. Ask yourself, am I texting to connect or to calm my own anxiety? Because when you text just to feel better, she feels it. But when you stay calm and trust yourself, she can't help but feel curious, drawn, even addicted. The man who doesn't react emotionally, he holds all the cards, not because he plays games, but because he's learned the truth. You don't have to chase when you are the storm. Why scarcity makes her want you more than words ever could. Let's pretend something crazy. What if I told you, the less she sees you, the more she thinks about you? Sounds weird, right? But it's true. Think about it. What tastes better? The snack you eat every day, or the one you only get once a month? Scarcity creates craving. Most men mess this up. They think, if I'm always around, she'll feel safe. She'll love me more. Wrong. If you're always texting first, always showing up, always ready whenever she calls, you don't feel special anymore. You feel expected, predictable, ordinary. And guess what happens when something becomes ordinary? People stop noticing it. But when something is rare, when it's not always there, it becomes priceless. This is why the man who doesn't always text first becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. He's not being mean. He's not ignoring her. He's just living. He's focused. He's busy. He's not always available because he has a life that matters to him. And that makes her feel something she doesn't feel with most guys. A deep need to earn his attention. It flips a switch in her brain. She starts wondering, where is he? What is he doing? Why isn't he texting me first? And slowly, without even trying, you become the most valuable thing on her mind. Scarcity isn't about faking distance. It's about having a real life that makes you less available, naturally. It's about working on your dreams, hanging with your people, taking care of your health, building something powerful. You don't have to say anything fancy. You don't need a clever line. Just your silence and your focus will speak for you. And it will say this: I'm a man with a mission. I choose who enters my world. I don't need attention. I attract it. So don't fear being less available. Embrace it. Let your time become rare. Let your words become scarce. Because when something is rare, it becomes worth chasing. And soon she won't just want your text. She'll crave your presence. You'll learn why purpose is the magnet that pulls women toward you, and why men who make women their everything always end up with nothing. Let's break the chains and build a life that attracts naturally, not desperately. Why chasing her makes you lose her, but chasing purpose makes her chase you. Let me ask you something crazy. Have you ever seen a lion chase a butterfly? No, of course not. Lions don't chase butterflies. They chase purpose. They chase meaning. They chase what matters. But most men, they're chasing the butterfly. They're chasing texts. They're chasing attention. And they wonder why it all slips away. Listen closely. The man who always reaches out first, who's always asking for her time, who's always waiting on her reply. He isn't leading, he's following. And women don't follow followers. They follow leaders. They follow men who are building something, men who are moving, men who are going somewhere. Here's the truth. When your whole life becomes about getting the girl, you lose more than just your peace. You lose her respect. You lose your power. You lose you. Because deep down, no woman wants to be your whole world. She wants to join a man who already has a world. A man who's too busy chasing greatness to worry about chasing texts. Let that sink in. Women don't want to be the main show. They want to feel lucky to be invited into your movie. They want to feel chosen by a man who's already chosen his path. So stop waiting for her to text back. Start creating a life so rich, so real and so strong, that your absence speaks louder than your messages ever could. Think of it like this. Imagine a man in a dark room, staring at his phone, waiting, hoping, feeling smaller by the second. Now picture another man. He's building his body. He's reading. He's working on a dream, something big, something real. He's not ignoring her. He just has a fire that burns inside him. And guess what? That fire is what draws her in, because women feel it, that energy, that direction, that strength, and it's irresistible. You weren't born to chase. You were born to lead, to build, to create. And the moment you make your mission more important than her attention is the moment she starts thinking, wait, what's he up to? Why do I miss him? Why does it feel like I need to catch up? So remember this, a woman is not your path. She's a possible companion for the journey. But the journey, the purpose, that's yours. And when you live like that, she doesn't just notice you, she obsesses over you. Or so. The calm storm. Why emotional control makes her feel safe and addicted. Have you ever seen a man lose his mind over a girl? Like, really lose it? One late reply, and he's panicking. One seen message, and he's spiraling. She goes quiet for a few hours, and he's typing long, needy texts. It's sad, and it's exactly what turns women off. But here's the twist. The man who doesn't text first, the man who doesn't flinch, panic, or break down, he becomes mysterious, strong, interesting, and women can't stop thinking about him. Why? Because calmness is power, and power is magnetic. Let me tell you something important. Most men think emotional control means being cold. Wrong. It means being stable. It means not getting pushed around by every little feeling. It means holding your center, like a mountain that doesn't move, no matter how hard the storm hits. Here's what women secretly crave. A man who can feel, but doesn't get ruled by feelings. A man who can care, but doesn't chase. A man who notices, but doesn't beg. She wants to feel your presence, not your panic. And when you master your emotions, she feels something deep, safe, curious, drawn in. Now listen to this. If your world falls apart every time she's silent, she knows she's in control. But if you're calm, if you smile, breathe, and keep moving forward. She starts to wonder, what's going on in his world? Why doesn't he need me to answer? Why do I feel like chasing him? That's the power of emotional self-control. It doesn't mean you're numb. It means you're grounded. And that grounded energy, that calm strength, it makes her feel something other men can't give her. Security, mystery, masculine depth. So next time you feel that urge to text first, to chase, to react, to explode, pause, breathe. Remember who you are. You're not just a man, you're a rock. And rocks don't chase, they attract. Because in a world full of emotional chaos, the man who stays calm, he's the one women remember. He's the one women crave. He's the one they text first. Again and again and again. Why less of you makes her want more? Why is it that people always want what they can't easily have? Think about it. If something's always there, always available, always easy, it starts to feel boring, right? But when something is rare, hard to get, hard to hold on to, it becomes valuable. It becomes special. It becomes something you start thinking about every day. That's exactly how it works with you. If you're always texting first, always checking in, always available the second she blinks, she doesn't feel lucky. She feels expected, like you're just there all the time. No mystery. And when there's no mystery, there's no tension, no spark, no chase. Now imagine this. You're focused. You're busy. You've got purpose. You don't text first, not because you're mad, but because your life is already full. You're not ignoring her. You're just not making her the center of your world. That's when something shifts inside her. She starts to feel your absence. And guess what? It pulls her in. Scarcity works like magic. It tells her, this man has a life. He doesn't need me to feel full. He's not chasing because he doesn't have to. And that makes her wonder, who is he when I'm not around? What's he doing? Why do I want his attention so bad? You see, too many men drown women in attention. They think more attention equals more love, but that's not how women fall. They fall in the spaces, in the silence, in the moments where they start to miss you. When you become less available, you become more valuable. It's human nature. So if you want to be unforgettable, if you want her mind looping you like a song stuck in her head, be the limited edition, not the bargain bin. Be the one who gives less, so that when you do give, it actually means something. The man who doesn't text first, he isn't just quiet, he's rare. And in a world full of men trying too hard, rare always wins. You're about to discover how living with purpose makes you untouchable, and why being her goal ruins your power. Let's finish strong. The power of purpose, why you are never just waiting. Have you ever wondered why the most magnetic men don't seem desperate for anyone's attention? It's because they aren't waiting for someone else to complete them. They are already complete. This is the secret that breaks hearts and builds power. When you live your life with purpose, you don't spend your time staring at your phone, hoping she'll text first. You're busy building your world. You're chasing your dreams. You're growing stronger every day, in mind, body, and spirit. Women are drawn to men who shine on their own, not the ones who dim themselves to chase a text back. Because when a man has a mission, a passion, and goals, he's not just available, he's irresistible. You see, purpose gives you a calm power that no one can shake. It's a quiet confidence. It's knowing who you are and loving it. That kind of confidence doesn't need to prove itself with texts, calls, or constant messages. It radiates from inside. And here's the twist. When you focus on your purpose, she starts to want to be part of your life. Not the other way around. You're the prize. You're the story she wants to be in, not the one who's begging to be noticed. So stop waiting, stop chasing, stop hoping for a text back. Start living your purpose. Build your strength. Be the man who doesn't need to text first because his life is already full, rich, and unstoppable. And guess what? That's the man she can't stop thinking about. Because when a man owns his purpose, he owns his power.